Yeah. So welcome to the virtual meetup of CNCF Hyderabad. This is the first meetup happening in January. What we have a small intro. Myself Raghu. I'm working as a lead data platform with the Reserve Group, and I am involved in the platform engineering, DevOps, and the Kubernetes landscape in the CNCF landscape. I'm also a co-organizer with Atul in the CNCF Hyderabad chapter. So this is a very small. Like you can reach out to me on the LinkedIn. So what is CNCF? So basically, we are a non-profit organization that helps across spreading the ecosystem with respect to the industry as well as students who want to reach, understand how this particular ecosystem works. So it's the cloud native set of principle that enables to anyone who want to be part of this particular, it's a free of cost. They can simply register, sign up. We will show you a portal where you can go through that. Basically, this CNCF Cloud Native Foundation, they maintain open source. So a lot of people know like Kubernetes, Prometheus, all these particular are part of this particular landscape. And basically, the main purpose of this is like it's open source and vendor neutral. So all of these particular open source tools come under this particular Cloud Native Foundation. And with this, we have a chapter that is nothing but a Cloud Native Hyderabad. So this started around in the year 2019. There has been like monthly meetups, as you know, a lot of people that we did 12 meetups in the last month with birthday bash. During the COVID, it was virtual, and the main purpose of this is to make sure that we spread the knowledge across the cloud native ecosystem to the industry folks as well as to the beginners who are joining the industry in the terms of within the Hyderabad area. What we have new one, this is like with respect to cloud native, we are also starting a virtual one. Now what this majorly focused is a series focused on practical cloud native learning, where the same that in person where you try to come and understand, learn, network, communicate, all this we will try to do in the same in the virtual meetup. This will happen tentatively in the second week of the month. Then after 2 weeks, that's the last week of the month, we will have an in-person happening in Hyderabad. The goal is similar to what we have in person, but in the terms of virtual platform. We want to offer a virtual platform for learning cloud native technologies, and with respect to also help people to reach out to the industry folks and understand how it's happening. We have your following socials. So on Twitter, you can find us over at CNCF Hyderabad. LinkedIn also we have page. So if you can just follow those particular pages, you will get regular updates on our ongoing events and upcoming events. So we want to take a small moment to thank all our volunteers who has been part of the journey for past 1 year. And today we officially also announced a new volunteer page link. People who are interested has been actively participating in the previous meetups, and they want to explore and also join the team. We have 2 openings in the terms of volunteer. Please go through that, register it, and the team will look into that particular potential volunteers for the upcoming year. So we have Anand, Sarvani, Anu, Sai, Sravanti, Ashwin, Fahad, and Rohit helping us around the clock on floor as well as virtually to make all the events successful. Now with this, we want to start our talk. We'll keep it very simple. We want to hand over it to Atul. What this particular today's talk is basically about KubeCon. You know, everyone has been talking about KubeCon. It happens every year, multiple places. Last 2 years back, we got it in India, and now we are happening it for the third time. That's Mumbai. So apart from that, what we are majorly focusing on today's agenda is like we will having a talk called KubeCon 101. That's basically understanding the KubeCon, their tracks, the CFPs, the co-located events, all related to. For that, we will be welcoming our speaker, today's speaker, Atulpriya. He's a senior developer advocate at InfraCloud, now called as an improving company. So with this, we will try to start our session. Atul, over to you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Raghu. I will share my screen. Yep, I think the screen is visible.
Yes,
my PPT slide. Yeah, perfect. Great. So thanks so much, Raghu, for doing this. And on behalf of the entire CNCF Hyderabad community, it's a new start that we are doing it in this year, and we are hoping that it will be successful. And since we are around the time for KubeCons, I thought it would be good to start with talking about KubeCons. And I'm assuming that all of you are here either for 2 reasons. Either you are curious to know more about KubeCons, or you are confused as to what is this. So over the next 20-25 minutes, I talk about everything related to KubeCons, and I hope that by the end of this 30 minutes, you get a good primer on what KubeCon is, what's there for you, what you should be doing as a speaker, what are the benefits, so on and so forth. So a quick intro about me. I'm Hyderabad, India. I work as a senior developer advocate at Improve, and I've been participating in KubeCons since 23. So KubeCon Chicago 23 was the first KubeCon that I attended, and fortunately, I've been a speaker at all the KubeCons since then. I've also been part of the program committee, so I've been reviewing CFPs for a bunch of KubeCons, especially on the platform engineering track. And most recently, some of you would have seen me as a co-chair for KubeCon India that happened last year in Hyderabad. Along with Raghu, I'm also one of the co-organizers for Cloud Native Hyderabad community, and here are my socials on LinkedIn and other places where you can connect and see what I do in the field of platform engineering, DevOps, and DevRel in general. Outside of work, I'm a big time foodie and traveler. Some of you might know, some of you know. So when I'm not working or doing anything related to community, I'll be out on the roads, traveling, exploring new places, new cuisines, a bunch of things on those sites. So if you want to know what I'm up to outside of work and Kubernetes and KubeCons, that's the page that you should be following. Now, what exactly KubeCon is? Now, KubeCon, as the name says, it's a conference about Kubernetes, and this is the flagship event of the CNCF, so Cloud Native Computing Foundation. They have been doing KubeCon since 2015, and if you are based out of Hyderabad, you would remember we celebrated the 10th anniversary of CNCF last year. So CNCF has spent 10 years, and even the KubeCon has spent 10 years, and it's the flagship conference. So KubeCon is by CNCF. There are a bunch of other conferences that happen across the globe that are focused on a bunch of different other technologies. KubeCon is specific to Kubernetes and cloud native technologies. So anything that you are working on around Kubernetes or associated technologies that help you build cloud native applications, KubeCon is the place. It usually happens twice in a year, the major ones, and they happen in the US in November, December. They happen in March, April in Europe. This year, it's happening in the Netherlands in Amsterdam in March. They also started doing the extra KubeCons because obviously there are a lot of contributors and attendees from other countries as well. So we had KubeCon India started in 2024, which happened in Delhi, followed by KubeCon India in Hyderabad last year, and the next KubeCon is happening in Mumbai from June 18th and 19th. These conferences are large-scale conferences. We have over 10,000 attendees at most of the international KubeCons. In India, obviously, the number is a little on the lower side, but still, in Hyderabad last year, we had about 4,500 people in person. So, everyone from developers, platform engineers, SREs, CTOs, maintainers, there are a lot of people who attend KubeCons just to understand and what's happening in the space and largely in the entire Kubernetes space. Again, for attending KubeCon, there is no barrier to entry, whether you are in tech, whether you are in non-tech, whether you are a platform engineer, whether you're working on Kubernetes or you're not working on Kubernetes, anyone can attend KubeCon. And the registrations are available on their website. So all you have to do is go ahead onto the KubeCon's website, and you can just search for, just one second, let me pull up that screen. Yeah, all you have to do is go to the KubeCon's website and just go and register, and you will find all the pricing available here. So early bird individual, the pricing ends tomorrow, that is January 20, at this discounted price, and you won't be able to get this price again after tomorrow. So if any of you are planning to attend KubeCon in Mumbai, I think this is the best time to get this deal. Obviously, we might get some coupon codes in the future, but then again, there is no guarantee, and this would be the price you would be giving as an individual. In case you are a speaker, you will obviously be given a free speaker pass. So if your talk is selected, you get a pass to attend the KubeCon as well. So the short thing, early birds pricing ending tomorrow. So if you're planning to attend, be sure to get your tickets in time. Now, a lot of people ask me if there are any ways that they could have some financial aid available, whether it comes through in the form of a scholarship or a travel funding. And the answer is yes, a big yes. So there are two modes of offers or help that CNCF provides to every attendee, and everyone's eligible for this. The first one is the DanCon scholarship, where they provide registration passes. So if you are someone who is unable to purchase a registration, or maybe basically just register for KubeCon, you can apply for the free registration. So all you have to do is go to the KubeCon's website, scroll till the end where it shows scholarships plus travel funding, and here you can apply for the registration scholarship. So all you have to do is give a few details about yourself, and those details be reviewed by the team, and then if you are selected, you can get a scholarship for registration. Similarly, there are also travel funding that is involved. So this covers your flights, hotels, transport, everything that is needed, including registration, to help you attend KubeCon. So if you are in any part of the world, and if you want to attend KubeCon and for any reason you're not able to attend, you can apply for travel funding. Again, this is the same page. Obviously, we all need to remember that it's not guaranteed that you apply and you get a scholarship, but it's a great opportunity and support that the CNCF is providing. Note that the travel funding is a reimbursement program, which means you will first spend and get all your bookings done, and then later you can get it reimbursed from the CNCF. So uh, the dates for both of these are 11th 3rd May for registration deadline, and 8th May and 5th April for the travel funding. So if you fall into any of these categories, or if you need any help, feel free to apply for the funding, read their FAQs, and take the advantage of the scholarship that is available. If you can see in this image, I am sitting right here. So I was the recipient of the DanCon scholarship for my first ever KubeCon in Chicago, and I've received it a couple of times, and I think it's a great opportunity for anyone who wants to KubeCon at any point in time. So what are the benefits for attending KubeCon? A lot of people would be like, hey, why do I go there? Or for most of us, it's always like, what's in for me? So first thing first, there are a lot of sessions that take place during KubeCon. So the schedule generally is spread out for a couple of days. You'll have a set of keynotes which will be given by experts in the industry for the first block of a couple of hours, and then you'll have multiple sessions running at different places. So there will be more than 100 sessions, from various expert levels, from beginner to advanced, and all of them would be on different tracks. We'll touch upon the tracks later on. So you have a lot of sessions where people would be demoing things that they've built, concepts that they want to explain. And even if you're new to Kubernetes, there is a dedicated track for cloud native novice, where all the basics are taught. There are advanced level talks as well. So whenever the schedule is out, all you have to do is prepare your schedule in terms of what are the talks, or what are your areas of interest, or what are the things that you want to learn. So you can build your schedule, and there are a lot of options that are available. Secondly, you get a chance to meet the maintainers and contributors. Since you all know, CNCF landscape is vast. There are a lot of projects within the CNCF, and KubeCon is a great place to meet the people behind the projects. You might be using OpenTelemetry, right? You might be using Kubernetes, for example, and at KubeCons, it's a great opportunity to meet the people who are working or contributing to Kubernetes, right? So for example, I have attended a lot of KubeCons. I got to meet Kelsey a couple of times. I met Inji at KubeCon in Atlanta this year, and he was the founder of YAML, YAML scripts that we write. So these are the opportunities that you get, when you are attending KubeCon. Third, you have a project pavilion. So most of the open source projects within the CNCF get a dedicated pavilion, which means there will be a maintainer or a contributor of that project in the project pavilion for a particular project. So if you have any doubts, or if you want to learn how to contribute to a particular project, if that project has a booth, interact with maintainers or the contributors over there, understand from them where the project is going, what are the things that they need, what kind of help that is needed. Because trust me, a lot of CNCF project landscape do require a lot of contributors. So they might be open, there might be a lot of good first issues in such projects. So project pavilions are good place where you can interact. uh, Obviously, next is the solutions showcase. There are a lot of sponsors and vendors who would be showcasing a lot of their solutions, and some of you might be using some hosted products or a bunch of other things. So you can go and interact with them, understand what their offerings are, support them. There are also workshops and tutorials. So a lot of times in KubeCons there are hands-on workshops that happen either as part of the session track, or one of the vendors or at the project pavilion, they are doing a hands-on workshop or showing you a tutorial. So if you are that kind of a person, there would be such things happening. So keep your eyes and ears open. You could go and attend that. And lastly, one of the great things is career opportunities. If you are trying to break into the cloud native space, or you are someone who is looking for a change, KubeCons are a great place, because a lot of vendors are there, a lot of projects are there, and which means a lot of them are on the lookout for their next hire. They might be looking for an intern, they might be looking for a senior architect, and all you have to do is just be there. Target if there are companies that you're looking for, if there are roles that there are open, prepare a list, go there, talk to the teams, understand more about them, what opportunities might come at your way. So that's more from the attending of things, why you should attend a KubeCon. More interestingly, I would like to focus on why you should speak at KubeCon, since I started my journey speaking at Club a couple of years ago, and since then I've been speaking at all the KubeCons, majorly on platform engineering. I think it's a great way to build your personal brand, build your thought leadership in a particular domain an expert at, or that you are exploring. So speaking at KubeCons gives you a massive visibility, massive reach. A lot of attendees who attend in person, plus a lot of people who watch the videos on YouTube. And what happens here is it gives you a lot of credibility in terms of your expertise, in terms of areas that you are focusing on, and invariably that improves, or that propels your career growth as well. So if you are an SRE wanting to go to an SSRE, or a principal SRE role, or a staff SRE role, these are the places where you can share your learning, share your practical experiences, and build your brand around it, build your credibility around the topic. And obviously a lot of eyes are around you, eyes are around the talks that are happening, and you don't know what may come your way when you're speaking at KubeCon. So apart from that, obviously you get a free pass, free all access pass. So usually at KubeCons outside India, there are co-located events, which is there are different events. Day zero of a KubeCon, so there's a dedicated open telemetry conference, there's a dedicated Istio conference, there's a dedicated Kyverno conference. So all those things happen at international KubeCons. In India, I'm sure we would be getting some of them, but we don't have that as such right now. But you get a free access pass, and lastly, you get an access to a speaker lounge. So if there are other speakers, keynote speakers who are part of, they get access to them. So you can meet a lot of industry experts, industry analysts who are speaking at KubeCons, delivering keynotes. So bunch of things, bunch of advantages when you speak at KubeCons as well. But my favorite part is the hidden gems of KubeCon. Being a foodie, we all talk about hidden gems, hidden biryani gems in Hyderabad, right? There are hidden gems when it comes to KubeCons as well. And I think the best part are the hallway conversations. So just show up there, walk in the project pavilion, walk in the solution showcase. You'll bump into people, talk to them, see what they are doing, what they are building. And those conversations are great. You might come across someone who is building something that you are building, or someone who has a solution to your problem, or someone who is having the same problem, right? So you will make a lot of great professional and personal connects through hallway conversations. Obviously, there are a lot of evening networking events. You can see this photo from KubeCon India, Hyderabad. A lot of people attend these parties, and again, these are good places not only to network, but to also learn more about a company, more about a product. Obviously, getting access to careers if they are open. If you are a maintainer of a particular project, there is maintainer summit that happens, where you can dedicatedly go and talk about your project. If you are looking for contributors or the next step or new updates, So maintainer summit is there. You obviously have project booth called. You can go through different booths, meet the maintainers, and eventually it's all about connections and networking, meeting a lot of people, because events like KubeCon bring in a lot of variety of people from different backgrounds, different seniority levels as well, and I think those connections are best experienced at once. So as part of it, all about what KubeCon is, what are the different registration options. We touched upon the scholarships, why you should be attending KubeCon, and why you should be speaking at KubeCon. Now, like I said, KubeCon, while it focuses on Kubernetes and other cloud native techs, there are about 11 tracks that are available at KubeCon. So as an attendee, you know which is your interest area or something that you are working on. And as a speaker, you obviously know what your expertise is, where you can go ahead and submit your talk. So some of the tracks over here are, we have an AI ML track where you will find a lot of talks around ML ops, GPU utilization, AI workloads, how Kubernetes is helping, or projects like Kubeflow. So a lot of discussions around AI and ML, and I would be wrong if I say that it's not the hot track at KubeCon or everywhere. So AI ML is a hot topic, and you will see a lot of interesting things that is being discussed within the AI ML space. You then have the application development track, where people talk about app development, how you build your cloud native applications, setting up your CI/CD pipelines, Argo CD, Flux, bunch of those things that help you build your applications and deploy them. Then there is the cloud native experience, which is more around the community part of it, more about the business value of cloud native experience. So anyone, if you have joined a cloud native community, you can go ahead and submit a talk which probably talks about your journey within the community, right? Or if you contributed first time to a particular project, you can go ahead and share your experience as a first time contributor to a CNCF project, right? So these are the things that you can speak or expect at a cloud native experience track. Then, like I said, there is a track for beginner fundamentals, absolute fundamentals. If you have absolutely no idea how ingress is different from a cluster IP, or how load balancer works, or how pods communicate with each other, a lot of basic fundamental talks are also present at cloud native novice track. So that is a track that you can focus on if you are completely new to this. Then we also have the connectivity track, which focuses purely on networking. So service meshes, think of open telemetry, think of anything related to network falls into the connectivity track. Storage is again very critical when it comes to Kubernetes, because we all know it's ephemeral in nature, and having stateful applications on Kubernetes is a little dicey. So if you are hosting databases, or if you are streaming, talk about volumes, all these things will be discussed in the data storage track. And then you have the emerging and advanced concepts, where usually there's a lot of research and proof of concepts related technology that is shared. Observability, again, it's very critical to any application that you build. So you have things around open telemetry, Grafana, metrics, logging, tracing, Loki. Everything related to observability happens within the observability track. Then you have performance and operations, where generally the SREs and GitOps and reliability, resiliency related things coming to the picture. Obviously then there's platform engineering, because that's an area that's a hot topic, where a lot of teams, a lot of enterprises are building platforms. So if you are a team or someone who wants to learn about platform engineering, or if you are part of team that is building platforms, IDPs, self-service, that's your track. And lastly, security, because without security, nothing will work. So anything that happens around security, you talk about zero trust, you talk about software supply chain policies, SBOM. A lot of things happen within the security track. So if you all want to know more about the various tracks that are available, you can go ahead and read more on the website. A lot more descriptions on what each of these tracks are, what you can submit, and bunch of other things. So there is a lot for everyone. If you are going as an attendee, you know where to go. If you are going as a speaker, you can obviously go ahead and things that you are working on. So there's a nice table that's given on the website under the program page. So you can go ahead and check that out to choose a track that you want to choose. Now, focusing more on the speaker and CFP's part, which again is something that I encourage a lot of people, whomever I meet, because I always feel that each one of us have been build something, learning something, and each one of our learning experience is different, and someone else can also learn from those learning experiences. So I always tell people, go ahead and submit, your ideas to the conference, and it doesn't matter if your talk is selected or not. I get rejections every now and then, so you should not be worried that if I submit and a talk is rejected. It's all about sharing your ideas. If not at KubeCon, there are a bunch of other places where you can go ahead and submit, your ideas. So before I get into the part of focusing on to submit a CFP, here are some dates that you should be aware of. So February 1 is the last date for submitting the CFPs for KubeCon India, which means you have about 10 days. No, wait, about 12 days, about a couple of weeks before you can go ahead and submit the CFPs. And there are three type of talks that you can submit. Three different modes. So one is a standard talk, which is 25 minutes. There's a typo here. Then you have a lightning talk, which is 5 minutes. And then there is a hands-on tutorial, which is 75 minutes. So whatever ideas you have that you want to speak, it could fall into either of these categories. And another thing that you need to remember is that you cannot submit more than 3 submissions per person. So whether you are submitting as a solo, whether you are submitting with a co-speaker, you cannot have more than three submissions. So a lot more details are again provided on the website, where you can go ahead and see what are the different details and what kind of talks can be submitted, things on that. So submission type, like you can have a present which is 30 minutes. Okay, so that was not a typo, it was correct. So you can have a session presentation which is of 30 minutes. You can also do a panel discussion, which is again for 30 minutes. So panel discussions is between 3 to 5 speakers. You need to remember that not all speakers need to be from the same company, same organization. There has to be at least one women speaker on the panel, and then you can go ahead and form a panel, and you can have a discussion around the topic, around the theme, and you can submit that as a CFP. You can also do a lightning talk, which is a solo speaker 5-minute talk, and I think these are really good places to share just your idea. A lot of times you might have an idea, but you might not have something concrete working out of it, right? No production, no real-time implementation or things like that, but an idea which you feel can change a lot of things or is probably a solution to a problem, right? So lightning talks are great to get such kind of ideas vetted, validated, and get a foot within the door for an area that you want to be an expert at eventually. Then there is tutorials. If you want to do a hands-on presentation, you want to show people, you want to, let's say, deploy a Kubernetes container, right? Like absolute basic, or you want to have a progressive delivery done using Argo CD. So these are the things that you want to show and you want people to follow. That would fall under the tutorial track. So those are the things that you should know. There are these 4 ways of different talks that you can submit at KubeCon. Now, like I said, I've been a program committee reviewer for a lot of KubeCons, and while I cannot say that these are the 100% ways to be selected, because I think one thing that I've spoken earlier as well is a lot of the times number of submissions that is a larger concern rather than the quality of the CFPs. Let's say if we could select probably 60 because of the schedule, but then we get 1,000 submissions. So out of 1,000, and understand. And that's one thing that I've been telling people. It's very rarely about the quality of the CFP, more about the math. It just doesn't match. So a few key pointers when you are writing a CFP: have a clear problem statement. If you want to share an idea, if you want to share a talk on anything, make sure that the problem that you are trying to address is clear, is genuine. It should not be like that you have a solution and then you're trying to create a problem because you have a solution in place. So make sure you have a clear problem statement. Second, define the audience level. you might be an expert at Argo CD, but the talk you might be giving would be a beginner level or an introduction to Argo CD. So make sure that you have a clear picture in mind who the audience is, because otherwise they are going to be confused. You are going to be confused because you will try to cram in a lot of things within a particular session. Make sure there are concrete takeaways, what the attendees will get out of attending your talk. It could be uh, ways to implement some things. It could be a running code that you would be providing. It could be a blueprint that you can provide. A bunch of things as key takeaways for them. Uh, if you have a demo, it's great, but without demo also it's completely fine. You can pitch in solutions or evidences that whatever you are trying to talk about has some real world implementations. So that would be really helpful. You should focus on the community relevance, and which also translates a little bit into the track as well. So a lot of times that I have seen that people submit talks in a completely different track, and that's where a lot of talks are getting rejected, because you submitted a Kubernetes storage class related talk into an AI track, and it's not going to fit there. So even before you start working on your CFPs, make sure that you identify the track where your problem is, the problem that you're trying to solve, and make sure that your track is correctly tagged. And then the last one and the most important one is speaker credibility. So a lot of times when CFPs are submitted, we do go through the persons who submitted. We go through their resources that they have shared. So whenever you submit a CFP for KubeCon, you get an area where you can put in your references, like any blog post that you have written, any other talks that you have given, LinkedIn post, your social handles, your portfolios. So make sure to give all those details, because when I as a reviewer am reviewing a particular talk, I'll go through that and I'll understand that yes or no, whether this person is the right person to talk about it. For example, like I speak a lot on platform engineering. Now, if I go ahead and submit an AI talk, and there are people who are building AI solutions, who are building frameworks, if they submit an AI talk, obviously you would want to listen from them because they are experts at that field, and there's the credibility from them. So whenever you are submitting a CFP, make sure to give your profiles, things that you have done, so that helps the reviewer understand that you are an expert a particular thing, or you are a credible source or an authority within that particular field. Now, some of the common reasons for CFP rejections, vague titles, especially with AI coming in. A lot of people will throw your ideas, give a prompt to Gemini, Chat GPT, it will throw you an abstract, you'll copy and paste it here. And we all know that the kind of titles AI will generate, from X to Y, best practices, 10 tips, right? So when you have vague titles, the reviewer will not know what you're trying to cover in that talk, because for us as 210, we have a limited time that we can spend on every. Vendor pitch. A lot of us, while we are reviewing, we know that your product or pitch your solution, which is a proprietary product, and that's not going to fit anywhere within KubeCon. So no vendor pitches, no too salesy pitches. Wrong audience. Are talking about progressive delivery, blue, green, and you have selected a beginner track. You might be an architect, and for you it might be a very simple thing, but for attendees it might be a very high level or a sophisticated thing. So make sure that you tag your talk correctly, whether intermediate or an advanced level. If what I achieve by giving that talk, it's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help you as a speaker, because you are not achieving a goal. It's not going to help your. They have no key takeaways. Theory only. If you're just going to be talking about concepts, it's not work well. Has to be a demo and you show an implementation, but whatever you're talking has to be implementable in some way or the other, right? So let's say you talk about a framework that you're giving, right? So the framework for, let's say, continuous testing within CI/CD pipelines. So you are giving a framework that fits well within the CI/CD pipelines, right? So there is some value in it. It doesn't have a code implementation or a demo, but it still has some implementation. Uh, you are trying to cover a lot of things within your talk. The scope is too broad. It's like Kubernetes tips and tricks. I mean, what is this? What are you going to cover in those 30 minutes as tips and you have too broad a scope and you're trying to put in a lot of things within a particular talk. So make sure that your scope is a little narrow. You identify one single problem and try to focus. Uh, Lastly, duplicate content. A lot of people miss out on this. You have an idea, you figured out there is a problem, you have a solution, but you never actually try to see if something of this has been done by someone else somewhere else. And then it becomes a duplicate content, because as reviewers who review KubeCon CFPs, we might have come across similar talk at some other KubeCon. And that's where we would be like, oh, this is already spoken. There's nothing novel, new in this. So one tip that I give to everyone while writing CFPs for KubeCons is go ahead and research at least 2 previous KubeCons for a particular topic or problem that you're trying to solve, and understand what has been spoken already about it. That will not only give you more clarity on your CFP that you're working on, but it might give you a lot more inputs. It might validate your ideas. It might discard your idea as well. That, hey, you were thinking of doing this thing. Someone has already done it. It didn't work for them. And probably you should pick up something else. So always make sure to go ahead at previous KubeCons and see what's happening, what other people have. Quick example of how a successful submission might look like, and I'm just putting titles here, no abstracts or no descriptions. This is one of the talks that I gave at KubeCon India, and it was around telling people the benefit of joining the platform working group. So why I chose this example as a CFP is that it doesn't have a demo, it doesn't have any code, but it was more around the community part of it. Since platform engineering was booming, I lead the platform engineering community. I wanted to tell a lot of people about the platform engineering working group and the work that has been happening within the platforms group. So there was a clear value over here. The target audience for me was very clear, that I'm going to target platform engineers and platform teams. So that was a plus. There were specific deliverables and outcomes. So I shared the platform engineering white paper. We spoke about the maturity model. So there was clear takeaways. There was a community contribution angle, because obviously I was trying to get a lot more people involved within the platform's working group. So that checked. Uh, there was credibility and authority, because I was an active contributor within the community. I was also the co-chair of the community. I was organizer there. So there was the authoritative credibility that I might be the right person to talk about this. And then the audience and the outcomes were defined. So a lot of things within this talk felt very clearly in terms of the value that it was delivering, the various angles, the credibility, and bunch of other things. If you want to know more about the abstract, you can go and search this for KubeCon Delhi, and you can read more. And for a failure one, I think this is one type or category of topics that I've reviewed a lot, and people will just submit it as Kubernetes tips and tricks. Uh, Remember that you get 1,000 characters, which would be close to, let's say, 100 or 200 words to write your description. Make sure you use all those 1,000 characters to convey your message. A lot of people will just leave this one line as a title, as a description, and what do I, as a reviewer, make out of it? For example, whenever I'm submitting a CFP, 1,000 characters means I'll try to get it to 998 or 999 or 995. I don't do anything below 990, because why leave space and not communicate the things that you want to communicate? So if there are 1,000 characters, make sure that you're using as much as possible, right? So a talk like this fails because it's a generic title. What tips are you giving? There is no key takeaway I see from this, right? What is the audience level? I have absolutely no idea, right? Because tips and tricks could be as simple as defining a resource limit within the pod that you're creating, or it could be as big as working at node level and defining node, tails and tolerance, which is again an architect level. So who your audience is, right? What is the outcome over here? What are you trying to achieve? Thirdly, it's too broad. Like I said, you need to scope in on one particular things, which makes it easier for you to convey the message. It makes it easier for the attendees to understand what's happening. There is no unique angle in this, because the moment you put this on Google or put it to Chat GPT, it'll throw out thousands of different tips and tricks to manage your Kubernetes clusters, right? And again, there was no proof of experience in this particular case, unless you have done a specific case study where you improved the performance of a cluster from, say, 100 to 1000 or 2000, you scaled, you made it highly available. Those are very specific, and those are the kind of talks that people would want to hear, because a lot of people might be working in such scenarios where they might be facing such issues. So that's where a talk like this might fail. So quick summary of all of this. Before writing, make sure you study all the accepted talks from previous KubeCons. Just go ahead, open the KubeCon schedule of KubeCon Atlanta or KubeCon London. Go and see the schedule and see the kind of talks that were submitted. If you are going in as a speaker, it's really important you do this. Identify your track, go through all the submissions that were done, and then see what was already spoken about. If you are working on a particular aspect, if that was already discussed, validate your topic, validate your idea. And while you are writing, start with the outcome. Technology always is there. There are a bunch of tools that is going to help you do a lot of things, but then start with the outcome. What do you want people to take away after attending your session? Start with there. If you have stats, try to include some stats, do your research, link to those researches, so that will make your CFP more credible, that you are not just sitting and giving some problem statements and ideas, but you are also researching and reading more about it. So try to do that. And lastly, write for your audience level and not your expertise. Like I said, you might be a principal architect, but the talk you might be giving would be for an introduction to networking, right? So make sure that when you're writing a CFP, and when you have an audience in mind, you are writing for them, which means there will be a lot of things that and the audience might not know. So you need to be very clear in your language, the terms that you use, the way you write. So a lot of things involved. So two major things: before writing, while writing. Do your research before writing. While writing, obviously focus on one outcome and one technologies. So to sum it up, I know some discussions are happening in the chat, and we'll go through that and see what's happening. But key takeaways from all KubeCons, and that's the post that I always make. KubeCon Mumbai happening on June 18th and 19th. I'll be there. A lot of people on this call would also be there. Scholarships are available. So if you are anyone who needs support, whether it is registrations or travel funding, make sure you take that advantage and see if that works for you. Networking matters. Obviously try to attend sessions, but hallway conversations are gold. Try to meet the folks who are behind projects, the maintainers, the contributors. Meet them, understand what they're building. Be a speaker if you can. If you have ideas, submit ideas. Start with lightning talks. No need to go deep into tutorials. If you have never spoken, start with a lightning talk, and one step at a time, and it'll make you a good speaker and build your career as well. If you are a speaker, make sure you are specific, not vague. Get involved. A lot of time what happens is people hear KubeCon and they're like, hey, I want to submit a talk for KubeCon, and they have absolutely no idea of what KubeCon is or what CNCF is. So irrespective of what city you are in, join the CNCF communities, CNCF projects, understand what's happening in the field, see what's happening, and that is going to help you improve your understanding of KubeCon as well as speakers. So yeah, I think I'm done. I'm sorry if I've taken any extra time, but that's all from my side.
Thanks, Atul.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your valuable session, going through all this particular aspect that is required, like for the beginners. With this, we have a few questions, so I will have few for you. One of the question is, which I already have, is I submitted a CFP. I booked a ticket. Like yesterday only, I purchased the ticket, the early bird. Like I'm sure I will be traveling for the Mumbai one. Now I submitted a CFP and I got selected. Right, so there is definitely we can request for the refund for that particular ticket. So that's one of the question. But do you want to add anything on that? So
no, I think that will be done. All you have to do is drop an email to them, say that your talk is selected or you got a scholarship, and it'll take care of it.
Yeah. Do you want to? One more thing is with respect to travel funding, which I have apart from the Q&A. So there is no limit on submitting for travel funding across the year, right? A number of events you can apply for travel funding for all those.
You can apply for all the KubeCons and OSS events. So any CNCF event, if you go down and if there is a scholarship and travel funding, you can apply for it. But do remember that you won't get a scholarship more than twice in a year, if I am correct. So it's like if there are 5 events, you apply for 5. If you got for 2, you will not get for the rest 3, because again the idea is to allow more and more people to be able to attend KubeCons and such events. So that's the only reason.
Sure, that got. So we do have one co-located event in KubeCon Mumbai, right? Open. This time it's
Yes, I just opened. So we have Open Search
open
Con
source.
that's happening on 15th and 16th June, and we also have the OSS Summit. So this page was updated before, or rather
Correct.
after I had done my deck. So yeah, these are the two open source, co-located events that are happening. OSS Summit will
I think OSS Summit I also saw.
mainly on general open source stuff.
Mhm. Okay, so that pretty much
If you are working on OSS, anything like Linux or Raspberry like that, you can submit something for OSS.
Yeah, that pretty much answers Tur. We already passed 3 minutes. I'm just looking for the Q&A. Just one question related to KubeCon India. Is there any discount offered for
Question by Akash.
There is one more, yes. So there are discounts that will be given for KubeCon, but that's not guaranteed. Atul, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's not guaranteed as and when but if you plan to attend, make sure to get the early bird. That's the best rate you'll get.
Yeah, there's one more from Akash. So he's asking with respect to QFlow on the CNCF project. You want to submit a talk from the previous talk? I realized that it will be better to submit a lightning talk instead of full session. Is that fine? Is it easier to get selected a 5 minutes lightning talk compared to a full session?
So Akash, I would say that I would not say that it is easier to get it, because I mentioned earlier it's completely maths. So I won't say whether it is easy or difficult, but if your CFP is really compelling in terms of what to try to talk about in those 5 minutes, if there is value, it will definitely be picked up in some way or the other. I mean, yes, it will be impactful. It again depends on the kind of things that you are trying to talk. And I think Prashant rightly mentioned there. It depends based on the audience, things that you are planning to cover, and things, and a lot of things around that. And like I said, it's not always about KubeCons. If not here, there are a lot of other places also that you can go ahead and get a chance to speak.
Sure. Thanks, Atul. I think we are short of time. But anyone want to? I will just take the screen for last 2 slides.
Sure.
We'll keep it short. So thanks, Atul, for that. A small announcement which Atul pretty much covered. So the upcoming events with respect to the CNCF community, we have KCD Delhi happening on February 21st. Tickets are out. There's again KCD Kochi. The dates are April 11th, 26th. For KCD Kochi, the CFPs are open till Feb 28. Please do register. Please try to submit for the CFPs for KCD Kochi. KubeCon Europe, which Atul mentioned, Europe and India, Amsterdam and Mumbai. So this will be the upcoming events that are happening in the CNCF ecosystem. Speaking opportunity, if anyone want to talk in the terms of in-person, or they want to talk in the virtual sessions, please feel to just register or go through this particular form, submit, also available in our LinkedIn page. You can just submit, and if it feels like you are just like a CFP, you just put what you want to talk based on the criteria on the screening. We will try to reach out to you. Anyone want to support us? So it's more on to in person, but anyone who want to support us on the terms of venue, speaker, swags, because as I said from the beginning, we are an open source community. We don't have any fundings for that. We are purely driven by the volunteers and the organizers. Just you can use this form to fill us and help us, or let us know if anyone is interested on that. A small feedback form also post this. You might receive an email by the time. There will be a feedback form that is shared. Please feel to share the feedback, if anything that we can improve or anything we want to share as a feedback that might help us to grow more. With that, thank you everyone. Thank you Atul for your time. Thank you everyone for taking your time at the night and joining us. With this, we will sign off for the day.
Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Good night.